We started August with a big bang of powerful solar flares, and it looks like we will be wrapping up the month in much the same way. In the past several days, we saw increased solar activity, mainly on the sun's far side, which is facing away from Earth. And some of these solar actions could be rotating toward the Earth soon. This means that we may be impacted by major solar activity in the middle of this coming week. Although Earth's magnetic field is quiet at the time of this recording, I suspect it is the calm before the storm. I anticipate we will still be in this dynamic and intense month of August, as I've been describing it, for another week before we welcome the new moon on September 2nd. My name is Masami Covey. I'm a health intuitive, functional nutritional therapist, and a moon enthusiast. I lead women in rediscovering the wisdom of living with the lunar cycles during and beyond menopause. If you're interested in lunar cycles, learning about moon wisdom and how the moon impacts various organs, systems, hormones, and even fascia, please subscribe to this channel and give me a thumbs up so others can find me in the YouTube universe. Please know that it means a lot to me to know that the content I'm creating is supporting your journey on this earth. So please leave comments below. I absolutely love reading them. As I detailed during my monthly moon wisdom class for August, we just finished up with an emotionally heightened week of waning gibbous, which is the third phase of the moon. And the theme for the third phase of the moon for August was find harmony within, especially as the world around us becomes more complicated and we are increasingly expected to process everything all at once at an accelerated speed. We no longer live in a world of slow and steady changes. Just like these solar flares and powerful coronal mass ejections, things can change on a dime, and it's hard to keep up with the speed of change. As I shared in my Moon Wisdom class, this is why you have to tend to your physical body and support its long-term needs with steady attention. You can't simply do a one-week cleanse program and assume that you don't need to do anything else for the rest of the year, or try one bottle of nutritional supplements and expect to have it reverse your chronic decades-old infections and inflammation. Your biology does not change on a dime. In fact, we haven't changed all that much biologically over hundreds of millennia of human history. Our moon reminds us that attending to your body requires slow and steady care and consistency, and having repeated cycles and phases of the moon reflects this exact teaching back to us. Because accelerated changes are all around us, one of the most important mindsets and skill sets you want to acquire is creating a repeatable rhythm or routine in your day-to-day, week-to-week, and month-to-month cycles. You can live in harmony with the cosmic rhythms by tuning into the monthly lunar cycles. This practice is available to all of us, no matter how chaotic, confusing, fast-moving, or unpredictable the world becomes. And this is why I'm so passionate about the lunar rhythms and steady cycles. As we know, the new moon always comes at the beginning of the lunar cycle. You can count on that, followed by the first quarter moon and the full moon, and back to the last quarter and to the waning crescent, before returning to the new moon again. But honestly, how many things in our lives we can always count on? All of us struggle with abandonment at some level. We all have been abandoned in some way. But what the moon teaches us is how we stop abandoning ourselves by coming back to the cycle of ebbs and flows that we can count on, and coming back to the cycle of life again and again as we spiral upward and downward, so we can learn about the depth as well as the height of who we are. Like all organisms, the human body has evolved to depend on the cyclical nature of the moon in order to function well. Without the moon, we won't even have seasons. No amount of technologies and AIs can lead us to defy the lunar cycles. We need our moon's steady cycles and its repeated phases more than ever, especially in the world of so much flux and instability and abrupt changes. As we are finishing up with the August moon cycle this week, fully immerse yourself into the magic of releasing and allowing, which was the theme I introduced in my August class. Please review that section if you attended the class. This entire month, So many of us have been holding tightly, holding on, holding back, and holding in our own light. And so many of us feel rigid and our bodies are stiffening up from all that holding. In fact, I have been hearing from so many people who are struggling with tightening and stiffening of their physical bodies. Symptoms like increased back pain, muscle spasms, chest pain, headaches, digestive discomfort, being quick to anger, shortness of breath, anxiety, stubbornness, and difficulty sleeping through the night. So let's find ways to shake some of that tension out of your fascia and nervous system before stiffness and this particular holding stance become your permanent posture. And before we open the door to the September moon cycle. I love this practice I learned from my mom growing up in Japan. I will share it with you at the end of this video, so stay tuned. In my moon wisdom class, I always guide you through many tools you can utilize during the monthly moon cycle. And I go over each phase of the moon with a clear theme for the week and practical tools, including movements, nutritional supplement recommendations, and dietary support. And I love answering your questions during the Q&A. So I would love to have you join my September Moon Wisdom class. I will put the link below, so check that out. The moon cycle is truly one of the best ways to walk life's cyclical ebbs and flows while respecting the monthly and seasonal changes of the moon. Life becomes more connected and expansive when you can balance the truth of both the changes and the cycles of cosmic nature. In other words, each month's moon cycle is unique, yet it's based on the foundation of reliable cycles. Each moon cycle is unique and unrepeatable, just like each and every one of us. And at the same time, we share the common thread of being alive now on this earth in this human form. The August moon cycle was energetically very different from the July cycle, but it did share a common thread, though, that I talked about a lot during the August moon class as well. And the September moon cycle will reflect what is changing and moving in us and around us. And it will also build on the August moon cycle's themes that I shared. So we are straddling what is changing and what is unchangeable. Our job is to find the balance. The September moon is a beautiful opportunity for all of you to bring yourself back in alignment, bring yourself back online, and retune your pitch so you can finally hear and play the music you truly wish to broadcast to the world. Holding so tightly to the past, holding in your voice, holding down your light can rob you of your own true expression. And we miss out on hearing that music we're all meant to play and hear. So before we welcome the September moon cycle, let's release some of those rigid parts of your body, break and free up the calcifications build up so you can move more freely and dance to the music that is playing in you, even though many of us don't even hear it and some of us may not care to hear it. Okay, so my mom taught me this when I was young, which she learned it from her father, my Japanese grandfather. So let's get started. You start by lightly slapping your body, especially the areas you know you're becoming calcified or rigid or stiff. I wish there is a better word than slap in English, but you get the point here. You will know what is becoming calcified when you check in with your 5 senses, perhaps even 6 senses. I will go over this in my upcoming September class, but for now, let's lightly slap your arms, shoulders, hands, and upper chest. So let's do this together. So you can start with a light hands, like almost like a cupping a little bit, and slap, slap gently and lightly is fine. I'm firm with it, but it's not painful or anything. Throughout your arms, elbows, throughout the arms, underarms, hands, even fingers. If you want to spend a little more time on each finger, you can do that. Palm of your hands, up to your shoulders, all around the shoulder, upper chest. And then switch your hand, go over to your other shoulder. Elbow, underarm, hands, fingers, palms. You can spend like a 3 minutes or so, even longer if you like, all throughout the upper chest, side ribs if you like. And once you do that, just shake it out a little bit. Place your hands on your lap and pause and take slow breaths. Slow breath is what we are looking for, not necessarily deep breaths. Oftentimes I hear people say, take a deep breath, right? But, this is a different topic that I will be addressing maybe for another day and then maybe another video about that. The differences between deep breaths and the slow breaths. But for now, kind of just focus on slow breaths and then letting the blood flow come back to those areas that you were slapping lightly, touching lightly. And notice how your breath changes. Maybe your posture is changing. Maybe you feel like there's a little bit of opening happening. I feel a little more opening actually happening right in my forehead area as I'm recording this. So this is important to do before you welcome September. This light slapping throughout your body. You can choose other parts of the bodies. I will go into that more in detail for my September class. But for now, start with your arms, shoulders, upper chest area. So you don't drag that same old physical pattern into the new beginning, consciously breaking free of those holding patterns within your tissues. That's the key before you enter into the new moon of the September moon cycle. May your last quarter moon and the waning crescent moon period be a time of release so you can allow the new flow to enter. The September moon cycle is quite beautiful, and I dare say it is even delightful at times. So during this last phase of the August moon, do not abandon your body. Work on softening your tissues and relax into the suppleness and plasticity of your own body, mind, and spirit. I appreciate you. Thank you for shining your light to the world and reflecting that light back to one another as well. Please feel free to share this video with your friends and family, and I really appreciate that when you do share this as well. And please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to leave comments below. Until next time, take good care of yourself and others around you. Namaste.